How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the rollback. Got an interesting one for you today. It is Evolution 2013, and the matchup is Laugh Ryu versus Infiltration Akuma. Infiltration is in the middle of one of the most dominant tournament winning streaks in Street Fighter history, and his right hand through it all was his friend and training partner, Laugh. Though Laugh himself never had the personal tournament record that Infiltration accrued, he was a key part of Infiltration's rise to dominance in the 2012 to 2013 competitive season, and even shared the Street Fighter Cross Tekken Teams Championship title at EVO 2012, the previous year. As James Chen says during this match's commentary, it's never easy when you get paired up against a friend in a tournament, much less one as important as EVO. However, there was clearly something more at play here than just progressing in a tournament bracket. At this match's conclusion, Infiltration and Laugh make no eye contact and express no congratulations or best wishes. And in the coming years, the two would not be seen together again, and we can reasonably assume that the friendship dissolved. Whether because of this single match or other unknown mitigating circumstances, we don't know. Though I might have a somewhat crazy conspiracy theory that I will share at the end of the match. What we do have is an incredibly unique match of players who know each other's strategies and habits inside and out, leading to some highly technical Street Fighter on the microscopic level. I'm also considering this to be part one or the prologue of a planned trilogy covering the Evolution 2013 Street Fighter 4 tournament, so stay tuned for parts 2 and 3. Both players going with their known mains, no fooling around on the EVO main stage, even wearing the same color gi.
Incredibly smart player and has struggled to overcome a lot.
Infiltration kicks things off with a walk forward into focus attack. Once he absorbs Laugh's opening fireball, he dash cancels through and begins the match with a big punish. With the life lead established, Infiltration backs off and begins the main game plan, using Akuma's superior projectile game to control the screen, build meter, and deal chip damage.
Forward, playing very, very conservatively, trying to build a little meter there. Neither player can be happy about this eventuality, but when it comes to the finals at Evolution, there's no friends anymore. You can't afford to have friends.
Who was the one who said that? Who had that quote? It's like, semifinals. This point is where you start eliminating friends. Was that you who quoted it?
I have not actually heard that quote, so we are now co-quoters, and shout-outs to whoever that might have been.
Might have been Bai who said that.
Yeah. Infiltration burning the meter, trying to be that may have been an advanced read on Laugh. Trying to smell his habits again. Sort of a quiet match in a ways.
All right, so even though Infiltration teleports into the corner and actually has no more room to continue moving backwards, he's still invincible here, which allows for the fireball to pass through him.
A lot of ways, but again, these guys know each other so well. Put a perfectly timed back teleport. There we go.
See that? He landed with a stand short to get that move.
All right, and let's roll this back. This is a key aspect of the Ryu Akuma matchup. Laugh jumps in and lands at what looks like to be just about the tip range of Akuma's low forward, crouching medium kick, which is, of course, the sort of effective range where both of these Shoto characters want to be playing. So it's very, very likely that Infiltration is thinking low forward from this range. After an opponent jumps in from this range, they're often going to be a little wary, going to be holding down back. So this is a key tool that both of these characters have in the matchup, actually. Laugh inputs stand light kick, which, of course, is not anywhere close to actually touching Akuma here, but what it does do is reel his hurt box backwards, as his left leg in this case is just not there anymore, which, as we can see, causes Akuma's low forward to just whiff underneath it. And then Laugh reacts to the low forward whiffing, whiff punishes it, and gets a fat combo into Ultra, helped out by the corner position.
And that is what I'm talking about. This guy is no joke.
Ooh, takes a big gamble here. This is, of course, a really terrible situation to be in. He went for a shimmy to try and bait the throw, but wasn't quite out of range of it, so Infiltration back throws him into the corner, and just Akuma gets the vortex started off of just about any knockdown, so this just truly terrifying place for anyone to be in against Akuma in this game. We can see he's jumping in with a light kick. Who knows if it's on the right or left side. Laugh sure didn't, gets hit by it. Probably cross up, it looks like. But Akuma still lands in front. And whether it was, because Infiltration has the read here, or if he was also caught by surprise, wasn't expecting to land in front, he does indeed end up blocking the sort of panicked heavy reversal DP here from Laugh. Doesn't quite get the kill here. I think if he had been looking for specifically uppercut there, then he would have been able to punish either with Raw Demon or maybe with like a level 2 Focus Crumple into Raging Demon, which I think just certainly would have killed. But he doesn't. And Laugh goes for the same thing again, and then goes for the chip damage with the EX Fireball. Round 1 Laugh. Infiltration then has a pretty dominant round 2. Not too much that I want to note, so we're going to jump ahead to round 3 of game 1.
You can tell neither of them are really happy about this match at all.
James getting in on the lore there a little bit.
Yeah. Laugh opting to build some meter, going back, good uppercut.
Uppercut, but he's got to be careful. Infiltration has that super meter. You can get a lot of good Raging Demons that way. But Infiltration chose to burn it on that EX Fireball. Ooh.
Laugh content to sit back, said Infiltration, I know how you deny. Oh.
All right, so real quick here. Infiltration gets away with something a little crazy with just a almost full screen raw demon flip into the dive kick ender. Even one as slow and telegraphed as this one can be tricky to anti-air. Infiltration can let the flip continue over Ryu's head, causing a DP to whiff, which would lead to a huge punish for Infiltration. 2 months later, actually, at Tokyo Game Show 2013, Daigo and Infiltration would play their infamous 1st to 10, during which Daigo showed innovation in this matchup by consistently meeting Akuma with an air-to-air, usually jump roundhouse here, rather than going for the risky DP.
Oh, how you deny. Oh. Opportunity, but would have forced him to gamble with the uppercut. I think that's probably the right call from Laugh at this stage in this game. Or this round, at least.
Nice fireball fake. That's the old school quarter circle forward plus light kick. Just in case your opponent reacts to the motion of your hand.
That's right. Oh, uppercut opportunity, possibly. It was very, very close as to who was going to land that.
Yeah, half the round gone, and look how little damage.
Laugh successfully low profiles the demon flip dive kick this time with low forward, but looks like it's still recovering here. And so doesn't actually even get to go for a punish here. It's just how powerful Akuma's mobility is in this game.
Tried to dance under Infiltration's approach there with the low forward earlier. Wow, nice stand roundhouse.
Oh, okay. I actually kind of like that jump into the fireball.
Dirty throw from Infiltration.
All right, so this is one of Akuma's more brutal sort of safe jump setups. If he gets the throw in the corner, he gets to, he gets auto spaced to this distance right here, then goes for neutral jump and then a low air fireball, which, by the time Ryu actually wakes up here, Akuma is pretty much fully recovered. And so even if Laugh had gone for an invincible reversal here, it would not have worked. Infiltration would have been able to block it in time. So there's actually nothing that Laugh can do except block this fireball. It's really, really brutal.
Dirty throw from Infiltration. Good pressure. Lets him give himself just a little room to breathe. The low forward into the EX Fireball gives him a comfortable life advantage with this much time on the clock. Will he run down the clock against his good friend? That would be a dirty. That takes a lot of guts.
But he's got to be careful because Laugh does have the uppercut FADC.
Yes.
He's got to land it soon because time is going to run out.
And Infiltration is trying to run down the clock on his friend. Running. Oh, no. There it is. That's a good trick.
Did he get it?
I don't know. It's very. Yes.
All right, let's go back over this for sure. This is one of the better ways that Ryu has to land some really significant damage on Akuma in this matchup. In this case, once again, Infiltration going for the mid-air dive kick option to throw off Laugh's anti-air timing. You know, we could see Akuma sort of pause midair. And the attempt there is to mess up Laugh's anti-airs in some way. Laugh delays it enough, though, where it still connects. And even better than landing raw DP in this case is getting the trade, which, as we can see, lets Ryu sort of flip out of the hit connection there. And once he hits the ground, he recovers immediately, and Laugh was pumping out the Ultra One.
Oh,
There
there it is.
Did he
That's a
get
good
it?
trade.
Did he get it?
I don't know. It's very... Yes!
And he's going to
That
have
is
a
it.
life lead. And he's
Will
gonna...
he run down the clock? Jump the...
Nothing Infiltration could do here, you know, to avoid the chip damage. The only things would be to Raging Demon or Teleport, both of which would be easily punishable by Laugh. So Infiltration goes for the Raging Demon here, but knows that there's actually no point. It is technically optimal, better than just blocking the Fireball, of course, but
not gonna do it.
yeah, he of course knows that it's not actually going to work. Although we do see Ryu getting brutalized by the Raging Demon there. He gets up Raptors and he's just fine. Jump ahead to game 2.
Yeah, and current Evo champion. And you know what? Whenever you're champion, you don't lose it. You have to have it ripped from your hands. And that's what Laugh is going to try to do right now.
Laugh again with a last-minute Tatsu just to build a little bit of additional meter, saying Infiltration's not giving me any openings. But now is also cornered. Infiltration getting paid there with the knock. Oh, no.
Okay.
Once again, Laugh trying to just avoid the Vortex mix-up completely. But Infiltration's got a good read on his uppercut timings.
And completely clean counter. And now Laugh maybe trying... You can't give up this early in the round. Like, you can't just be going for meter at this point. It's far from a lost cause. But again, Infiltration giving him no opportunities whatsoever.
Yeah, you can see Infiltration just kind of chilling right now.
And this is the real strength of Infiltration's play in general. Like, I mean, he plays a great Akuma, but this is a tournament style. So the same way you see Christian play...
Wow, so Laugh gets an anti-air sweep here. Sort of getting the trip guard on Akuma. This is usually an incredibly safe option. Akuma has this incredibly low to the ground air fireball, covering all the space directly in front of him. But Laugh times and spaces a really nice sweep here to narrowly avoid the first few active frames of the fireball. Catch Akuma recovering as he touches the ground. Still, you know, gets hit by the fireball afterwards, but it's still generally a very good trade for the Ryu
The way
player.
you see Christian play Marvel, where he has a smothering style where he just does not give the opponent that many opportunities to strike. That's the real power of Infiltration's Akuma in the course of a long tournament like this. There is no longer, more grueling, just tough mountain to climb than there is at Evolution. And Akuma, by limiting your options and just allowing you to grind yourself down, that's what makes him such a strong character.
At this point, Laugh might as well just try to build some meter.
And I think that's what he's doing. I'd be shocked to see him throw an EX or anything of the kind.
Yeah, Infiltration having Laugh down to just a fragment of life there, knows that he doesn't even have to put forth anything anywhere close to risky.
Definitely letting him know.
Yeah, the crowd booing, but it is certainly optimal play.
It's not going to bother him, though. It's not going to bother him.
He's going into round 2.
It was kind of a smart play by Laugh. You know, he was just trying to see if he got that. Oh!
Wow, is that good?
Yeah.
All right, we gotta roll this one back. In Street Fighter 4, sweeps are generally much safer than they are in the later iterations of the series, 5 and 6. We can see the massive amount of pushback here. The two characters start less than a training stage box away from each other. By the time the sweep is blocked and both characters recover, they are about 2 full training stage squares away from each other. Looks like maybe slightly less. Certainly out of range of Ryu's sweep. But the magical thing about Ryu's super in this game is that it's a 2-frame startup and travels across the screen very, very quickly. And so is therefore incredibly useful to punish moves that would otherwise be completely unpunishable.
He got that. Oh,
Wow, is that good?
Yes,
it was
it
a clean
is.
counter on the low roundhouse block, and that is perfect time to learn that super. Not only did he get the damage, but he has a chance to build it back up for round 3 if he wants.
So that's a great way for Ryu to gain an early life lead and then force the Akuma player to do something rather than just play the runaway game. And we can see Infiltration doing more sweeps there with just no consequences at all. Yep, throw out another one.
From last. You see him stay crouching there. That's knowledge. He understands that.
Hard knockdown from Infiltration.
Oh,
Gets
here
the
comes-
This is so this is the Vortex in practice here. Infiltration gets the knockdown off of light DP, and then he goes for this immediate demon flip. If Ryu were to get up quickly, then he would be able to hit them with this jump light kick. Laugh stays on the ground here, but it doesn't matter one bit because Infiltration still has enough time to input a second demon flip and actually re-corner Laugh in the process while also setting up a safe Vortex mix-up.
Hard knockdown from Infiltration.
Oh,
Gets
here
the
comes the
Vortex
stun.
going.
Very close.
Oh,
One more
next
hit.
hit. Oh, good tech.
Wow.
There was the quick get-up version with the jump light kick hitting.
But very much. He's very close to 2 meters. In fact, one uppercut may give him the meter for the FABC.
This is, I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Infiltration, evening it up. Laugh doing some thinking,
Stay hydrated.
going to the water. That's like the best first advice I could give anybody about a tournament. Like, keep drinking water, especially here in Vegas. It's brutal. It's basically, yeah, you can face a lot of recycled air. This is just a weird match. I don't like this. You can feel the intent. That's what I'm reacting to. You can feel the intensity between these two guys.
And you can feel the discomfort.
Yeah.
You know, in a lot of ways.
This is a unique experience for me. I've not felt anything quite like this before.
Both players playing a little bit of focus attack chicken here. Of course, the fully charged or level 3 version of the focus attack. So if you don't charge it at all, if you release it immediately, it'll be a level 1, which will crumple on counter hit only. Level 2, which happens after this first flash here, after Ryu flashes white. This will crumple on any hit. And then if it's fully charged to level 3, it will also guard break. It's very rare for players to go for the full level 3 outside of max damage punish combos. So they will usually charge up just to the last moment before they are able to dash cancel it and then dash cancel it. And of course they're doing this because we can see Laugh activating it here at sort of the tip range of Akuma's sweep, where Akuma's sweep would hit. And so he's looking for Infiltration to attempt to sweep here, which he would then be able to punish with a level 2 focus attack. But once he sees that the sweep doesn't come, he backdash cancels it to safety, to relative safety.
Both getting a little frisky with the focus attacks. Free offense for Akuma. Well, I guess it's at the cost of a meter. But he can just generate that at any time. Part of what makes him so strong. He has that approach just ready. Very, very difficult to counter.
Oh.
Wow!
Crazy looking interaction here. We have Infiltration going for Demon Flip into the Palm Strike, which has a gigantic, deceptively gigantic hitbox on it. Laugh actually very smartly goes for this tip range stand roundhouse, but Akuma's Palm Strike is so powerful that it still manages to trade here. And any hit from the Palm Strike will lead to a hard knockdown.
Try to get under there, not quite.
Laugh standing strong, obviously down a bit in life, but not getting blown up by any of Infiltration's bait. Nice anti-air
Yeah, I
fireball.
love that fireball anti-air. That's a true
Yeah,
Watson style.
that's an OG.
anti-air.
Yeah, I think of Watson, I think of Choi. Anti-air fireball is some tough stuff.
Now Laugh's really got to try to get in there, get some damage. But you see Infiltration totally willing to play a very defensive game against Laugh.
Laugh not in too bad of a position here. I don't know if he'll have time to charge full super, but that'll limit the roundhouse option. I don't know if he wanted that towards.
Same thing here. Laugh going for this jump in from the same spacing landing just outside of Akuma's effective anti-air range and finishing the jump at tip range of Akuma's crouch medium kick. Again, immediately hits stand light kick to avoid it, but Infiltration smartly just backs off.
That towards Spears. It may have been a final missed input, but now he's in a situation where he's going to have to start thinking about something. And now again,
Yeah, the super low risk playstyle was a sort of Infiltration signature.
completion there from Infiltration. Wow, just taking it right to him. Now this is a tough spot. Oh, he does burn some meter going for it. No super option now. Super might have chipped.
Okay,
That should be the round. No timer scam.
All right, so really crazy final seconds to the round here. Infiltration lands this key sweep right here. His back to the corner and laugh at 3 bars is an incredibly risky situation for Infiltration. It's close to the point where Laugh could just dump out a few maybe EX fireballs to just pile on a little bit of chip damage, regain the life lead. But Laugh goes for the solar plex. Oh, wait, no, he goes for the overhead here. Of course, trying to, that's another way to regain the life lead. Hoping that Infiltration is playing a little bit scared and will just crouch block. Infiltration hits sweep, though, catches him out of it, counter hits. And now Laugh is in a bit of a bind. He's only got, 2 seconds to regain the life lead. Has to go for something risky. Tries to walk up overhead again. And actually, yeah, at this point, Infiltration is only going to be down backing. He's more than happy. He knows that this overhead will not give Laugh the life lead, so he takes one. And then as Laugh goes for the low forward, Infiltration inputs the teleport, which will make Akuma invincible until the end of the round.
Oh, and then a teleport.
Yeah,
What a smart
super
teleport.
smart. There was no window to punish that in the remaining time on the clock. Smart stuff from Infiltration, who is now at match point. 2 great friends, great training partners, forced to battle it out. This is reminding me of like Stephen King's The Stand or something, where like the 2 brothers are like...
Infiltration gets the clean jump in to start off the round, and look how much damage this does. Ryu is at about 90% life at the start of this combo. Infiltration gets jump roundhouse, stand fierce, fireball, EX focus attack, dash cancel, stand fierce, light tatsu, DP, and now Laugh is at below 50%.
And it's just awful. Infiltration off to a huge lead. And this doesn't play to Laugh's strengths. Laugh not as explosive a player as Infiltration. Of course, Ryu has not as many clear options to sort of blow it up.
Dude, I seriously feel like I'm watching the end of a very sad movie right now.
Really tricky mix-up. This is the true sort of Akuma Vortex. Similar to the neutral jump fireball in the corner that we saw earlier. Akuma gets to jump forward and release an air fireball from this angle where he's still traveling forward and will land on the other side of Ryu. But once again, there's no window available to input an action before the fireball interacts with Ryu's waking up hurt box. Basically, Laugh can't do anything but block here as Infiltration gets a free cross-up setup.
Yeah, it's just... Usually, even if I have players, of course, I'm sympathetic to... Oh.
Okay.
This was another way for Ryu to get damage on Akuma here. Actually, it looks like he goes for medium DP, which is the sort of safer option. It's the most invincible to aerial attacks. There's a chance that Laugh might have been able to anti-air with light DP here instead and get the combo into Ultra as we saw earlier. Doesn't get it here though, and then gets a really nice, this is a hard read. This is kind of what Ryu has to do in this matchup, unfortunately. This is a hard read. It's not an option select or anything that would catch both backwards teleport or back dash. Infiltration goes for backdash here. Gets caught by it.
Great read on that. Good block from Infiltration there. Laugh got a little bit going there, now willing to surrender just to build up that super for the final. Oh, that's a punish!
Oh, here we go.
Clean punish, here we go. Front back, goes straight for the throw. Teleport, no option select queued up from Laugh. He's still in this.
See, now that Laugh has spent the super, the sweeps are once again unlocked on Infiltration's part. Hard to say what this was exactly. This is sort of like a Street Fighter 2 raw Tatsumaki in neutral, maybe looking to get over a fireball or something. It could be one of those things that's also a product of the fact that these two have played hundreds, if not thousands, of games against each other by this point. Laugh just has a read on Infiltration's tendencies at this point, but it's certainly not something that you see very often at this level of play.
Oh, big read there from Laugh. Could that be enough to cost him? Answering with a fireball, 2 tough fireballs right in the face.
Wow, focusing through there, risky stuff.
But the life lead at this time with the
Another really cool use of the reel back hurt box of Ryu's jump light kick here. Laugh was trying to clash the fireballs here in order to dissipate Akuma's air fireball. Doesn't quite work. The fireballs pass by each other harmlessly. Laugh has just enough time to stand light kick here just to get himself out of the way of the fireball as it lands. And this is just sort of something that's doesn't look like too much, but it is considered optimal in the matchup specifically, where every little bit of screen space and every little bit of corner push matters so much to both of these characters. And so alternatively, Laugh would have had to take a step backwards, give up just a little bit of screen space. And so this is just, like I said, though it doesn't look like much, it is optimal and necessary in the matchup. Yeah, this is Laugh getting maybe a little mentally exhausted, maybe a little desperate. No reason to at this point. There's obviously, just one clean hit will be able to kill Akuma, especially with his low life comparatively. But just tries to catch him by surprise, but Infiltration is just too clean.
No handshake. Laugh knocking off the headset. Clearly, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
Wow. No handshake for the two players.
No, and I gotta say, Laugh stood up immediately, turned immediately away from Infiltration, knocked off his headphones. A lot of emotions. Infiltration just moving away.
Whew. Okay, well, let me go to some comments from the folks on Twitter. On the Twitter.
I think the camera caught me with my mouth gap.
Yeah. So
And here's the promised, maybe crazy conspiracy theory. I think there's a chance that Infiltration was going easy on Laugh, allowing him to even win that first game. But because the two have played so much, Laugh might have known that Infiltration was playing a bit differently from usual and sort of sniffed out that Infiltration was going easy on him. And so, I think this, sort of stony silence as the two get up and walk away without a handshake or anything, I think it shows that Laugh was not happy, both with the final result, but also with Infiltration patronizing him a little bit by going easy. Highly encourage you to check out the full match. I'll have a link in the description below. Like and subscribe. Let me know what other cool moments from this match I might not have covered, and let me know which match I should cover in the future. Thank you so much for watching.